What's going on, y'all? It's GumGum TCG here, back again with another video, and today I have a video for you about something that somebody asked me to remake. I made a video, I want to say almost 2 years ago, maybe a little less than that, about staples for the One Piece card game in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is the game I come from, and I'm sure in other card games as well, you have what are called your staple cards, cards that can go into really any deck, and things that most players should have on hand at any time. So I thought it'd be great to cover this content again and kind of go over it, because there's been so many new cards and so many new sets that have came out since then that we have to keep it updated. And a lot has changed since then, and we have rotation announced, so I tried to keep that in mind when making this. But before we jump into this, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that ding dong bell if you haven't already, because it really helps me out and helps people like you know when I post a video. Like I said, these are going to be cards that I think everyone should have, and also feel free to jump into the comments below and let me know if you think I forgot anything, and let me know what you think about the list that I did make. I want to start off with the 2K counters, because I think that 2Ks are a very important part of every single deck list and every single deck build. I have 5 from each different color here, and as I mentioned, I tried to keep rotation in mind, but sometimes the best one that I could find is going to get rotated out anyway. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. I also kept OP13 in mind as well, because that comes out very, very soon, in about a week's time, I believe. So starting off the rip, we have Ace, Sabo, and Luffy. This is just a good 2K. I mean, it's not really searchable unless you're playing some Goa searcher. It's not really searchable, but being able to trash this and give a Dawn to your leader or character and then minus 3K to something seems pretty decent to me, and it's 2K on a red body. Not too bad. Brook, this is a great one. Just a 2-drop 3K that gives 2 Dawn to something when you play it. Really good. Searchable for Straw Hats. Really, really strong. Lime Juice makes something not be able to block that has 4,000 power or less. Very, very strong card. Searchable in the Red Hair Pirates archetype. Another Straw Hat card. This is going to be a blocker in the Tony Chopper that gains 2K power on your opponent's turn. A 4/6 blocker that's searchable and a 2K. Really solid in my opinion. Next we have Uta. This one just kind of started creeping up out of nowhere with Ace on the horizon. Just being a very strong blocker that can be played really, really easily, and yeah, just a great blocker, great body in general on a 2K. Next, let's move into green. We have Scratchman Apu. This is kind of playable, I guess. You can rest a 2 or less if they're playing a chump block or a little body that you need to get rid of. You can play this and get rid of it, but most of the time you're going to pitch this for a 2K. But it is a Supernova, which is a good green archetype and is very searchable. Next, we have Tashigi. This is going to prevent your removal from your characters on the field. A 3/4 that has 2,000 counter. Very, very strong. Green Navy typing, so if you're playing a Navy searcher package in a deck, you can search this, but not super easy to find. Also Punk Hazard if you're playing that. Red-Green Smoker Leader. Next, we have Shimotsuki Kozaburo. This is newer from OP12, and again, this is just a 2K counter, but it having that slash attribute makes it searchable by Perona, and really, really strong 2K. Rests a 2 or less, and then can KO a 1 cost that is rested. Now, are you going to hit that every time? No, but it's definitely helpful. It gets rid of those chump blockers if you need it to. And like I said, searchable, 2K, green, body, nice. Let's go to Mihawk now. This one has been slept on for a while. It's also slash, so it's searchable by Perona. And because it's Mihawk, it's searchable by a different Perona. And we have a new Mihawk leader coming out. Just think it's a great card. It's also a 7 Warlords card. I think this card's been slept on ever since it came out of the green Zoro Sanji deck, but that's besides the point. 3/4, 2K, and if you have 2 or less characters, play a 4 cost or lower Shigeru Kingdom or slash character rested from your hand that's not Mihawk. Really, really strong. Next, we have the new Zoro from PRB2. This one's really good. 4-drop, 4K, 2K blocker. What more can you ask? If it was to be rested by your opponent's effect, you can rest a different character instead. Really, really strong. And it's a Straw Hat, and it's a Supernova. Really could not ask for more on this card. Hence, it's a $7 rare out of PRB. Next, we got Kaya. These are going to be the blue cards. Kaya is one that I do believe is getting rotated out. Let me know if I'm wrong about that down in the comments below. I'm not too sure, but I think it's getting rotated out because it does have the 1, but there is a handful of certain cards that are not going to rotate. But for blue, drawing cards is great, and on play, you get to draw 2 and trash 2 from your hand. What more could you ask for on a 2K body? Like, Speaking of drawing cards, here's another one that's really good at doing that. It's Otama, 1 cost, 2k, that if you have 3 or less life cards, you draw 2 and trash 1. So a little bit more card advantage there than the Kaya. Next, speaking of card advantage, this is kind of reverse card advantage. 4 or 5 on a 2k body is Gion, and you get to, once per turn when your opponent activates an event, they have to place a card from their hand to the bottom of the deck. Really, really strong against certain decks. Next we have Sabo. I really couldn't find a better one for these last two. Let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments for better blue 2Ks. But Sabo, just preventing removal for a character on your board is really, really good. Searchable for Dressrosa, I guess, but it being a 2K that can prevent removal, I thought was pretty neat. And then next we have Mihawk. I put this in here because we have 7 Warlord stuff coming out in OP14, so I thought that it might be able to see some more light of the day when that comes out. And it's a good stat line body, and it's a 2K that filters your hand just like blue wants to do, so couldn't hurt to have it on hand. Next, we have purple cards, which are mostly going to be ramp or, well, I don't know, purple's kind of all over the place. Black Maria gets you a whole bunch of Dawn if you need it on a 2K. Searchable for Animal Kingdom Pirates. Really, really good. Here's a searchable Straw Hat and Uso Hachi that is a 2K that rests in 5 or less if you have 8 or more Dawn. Next we have Miss Doublefinger that you can trash a card to ramp a Dawn. Really, really good. Next we have Fernosuke, just another searchable Straw Hat 2K, but this one has Rush if you have 8 or more Dawn, so usable if you need it, I guess, but kind of fringe situation, but it's better to have it than to not. And then finally we have Sanji, another Straw Hat Crew searchable 2K that is a 6/6 blocker, but if you have 2 or more fewer Dawn than your opponent, it becomes 3 cost, so very strong. Next, moving into black, it's going to be a lot of cost reduction. So off the bat we have 1 cost Suru that is a 2K that gives -2 to an opponent's character this turn. Very strong. Next we have one-legged toy soldier. 2 cost 2K with 0 power, and you can send this character to the trash and give -3 to a character's cost this turn. Next we have Barto that is a 3/3 2K blocker. Next we have Tashigi, a 3/4 2K, and you can rest it and give something -2 to their cost this turn. So it's kind of like Suru, but you can rest it and it restands, you know, a little more use out of it if you defend it. Next we have Sabo. This is out of PRB, and I want to tell you, go ahead and pick these up. I think this is going to be a great black card to have on hand forever, just along with the rest of these cards that I'm going to have in this video. But this one is specifically a newer card that I could see played in a lot of decks down the line. So 6/6 blocker that has a 2K counter on it, and if you have 15 or more cards in your trash, it becomes -3 cost, so it's a 3. It's just black Sanji, and Sanji is a great 2K, and I figured why not have this one as well. I could see it getting it for other archetypes and other colors as well, but this is the next Sanji, if you will, so I'd go ahead and grab it if you don't have your playset yet. Next, we got yellow cards, and Flampe is a great one. Get to add a card from the top or bottom of your life to draw a card, so a little bit of card advantage there. And then next we have Hiyori being able to manipulate some life by taking your top card of your life and putting another one back, and then next we have Zeus, another one that takes life, gets to add a life from top or bottom to your hand, and then you KO a 5 or less, so a little bit of removal if you need it. Frankie, just a good 2K that can play itself off of trigger if you need it to, if you have 1 or less life. And then we have Satori, which is also another 2K with a fair stat line that you can trash a card from your hand to play it. So like I said, this is all the 2Ks that I could think of. If you have any suggestions, put them down in the comments below for everybody else. Let's go ahead and jump into the next part, and that's going to be characters. Alrighty, y'all, this is going to be characters, and I tried to pick a little bit more, so there should be 6 for each color, and these are a little more versatile. You know, 2Ks are kind of limited. I tried to pick a range of lower to higher cost bodies if I could, and the characters that I thought had the best effects. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First off, we have the 3 cost 3K Sanji from OP10. Just a great card, searchable for Straw Hats. On your turn, it gains 3,000 power, so it becomes a 6K for 3 Dawn, and then when it dies, it draws a card. Just an outstanding 3 cost body. Really couldn't go wrong with this in any deck that you're playing. Next, we have Tony Chopper, a 4 cost 4K blocker that has a 2K counter on it. We had this in the 2Ks, but I thought it was good enough to throw in here as well because, well, it gains 2,000 power. So it just becomes a great blocker. 4 cost 6K blocker. Really, really good. Searchable Straw Hat. What else could you want? Next, we got Luffy. This is a 5/6 with Rush. This is out of the ST21 starter deck, and if you haven't watched my video on that, go watch it. I'll have a link down in the description below where we took this to locals. We did a deck list on the Underdog series. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check it out. I'll have it all linked in the description below. I'd really appreciate it. This is just a great body. 5/6 rush that when you attack, you can give your leader or character a Rested Dawn card. So it can become a 7. You can give it to your leader and have 2/6 swings on the same turn. Like, just a really solid rush card. Searchable for Straw Hats as well. Next, we got the new PRB2 Law. That's a 6/7, and it has a 1,000 counter. If it would be removed by the field, but by your opponent's effect, you can give it -2k this turn. Really, really strong. And then on attack, you get to give -2k to something as well. So just a great body that gets a little bit of reduction and can also prevent itself from being removed. Very, very strong. Next, we got some big drops. This is going to be a 10 cost 12k Rush Shanks, and it gives all your opponent's characters -1,000 power. This card's almost a year old now, which is crazy to think about, but it is still so strong, and I could see this card being played in almost every red deck for a while. Just a very, very good card. Speaking of another one that should be in every red deck for a while is Roger, 10 cost, 13k rush. And when your opponent activates blocker, if you or your opponent have 0 life, you win the game. Any card that says win the game is just inherently broken most of the time. And in the One Piece card game, we only have this one, and I guess Nami Leader if you count that. But character-wise, card-wise, not leader-wise, this is the only card that says you win the game on it. That's crazy. If you don't have a playset of Roger, you kind of missed your shot. They're like 20 bucks now, but definitely still pick them up. I at least have 2 or 3 on standby because this card's really, really good and can win you the game, literally. Next, we got some green cards, and these are going to be Dawn focused. You know, green's very, very Dawn heavy, rest heavy. So first off, we got Cavendish, searchable Supernova, 5/6 with 1,000 counter. On play and when attacking, if your leader's a Supernova type and you have no other Cavendish on the field, activate 2 Dawn. Very, very strong. Even though it is restricted by that Supernova typing, this card's just really, really good because there's a lot of green Supernova leaders, and I feel like there will continue to be Supernova leaders for a very long time. So don't underestimate this just because it has that restriction. Next, we got another 5/6 with 1,000 counter. This is Carrot and on play and when attacking as well. Up to one of your opponent's rested 7 cost or less characters do not refresh during their next refresh phase. So just getting you to lock stuff down is really, really powerful. And yeah, especially if you stick 2 of these on the field, it can really, really hurt. So great mid-range body there. And then next we got Hody Jones, one of, if not, Green's only, okay, I know they have a couple, but this is Green's only good rush card. So don't want to catch myself there, but 7/8 rush, and it's not really searchable unless you're playing Fishman. Shout out to my boy Jinbei, shout out to my boy Hody. But on play, you get to rest a total of your 2 of your opponent's characters and or Dawn, then you take a life to your hand. Very, very strong card, and can help you go for game very easily. If you're playing green, you need this on standby. It's the only good rush card. Next, we got Dracul Mihawk out of OP12. This card's just very, very good blocker. 8 cost, 8k blocker. On play, sets 4 Rested Dawn as active, but then you cannot play characters with the cost of 7 or more for the rest of this turn. So you can still play other bodies, which is kind of crazy to me, but this is basically a 4 cost, 8,000 power blocker. Absolutely insane. And with the new Mihawk leader coming out, you might want to grab these before they go up even further. Next, we got Ronoa Zoro. This is a 9 cost 9k that basically just gets to attack 3 times. It has a when attacking once per turn, pay a Dawn to set this character as active, and then an activate main once per turn, pay 2 to set this character as active. And I think they did that so you could get away with attacking with this character around and playing around certain abilities. But just being able to attack 3 times with a giant body on the field is very, very funny. And it's Straw Hat, so it's searchable by a lot of different cards. Next, we have the ST16 Shanks. It's a 9 cost, 11,000 power. On play, KO an opponent's rested character. Any. Very, very strong, very good top end body. Now, you might notice there's not Kid in this list. Uses Captain Kid. I'm pretty sure Kid rotates out, which is going to be good and bad. I think Kid decks help balance some things out, but also are kind of annoying to deal with. But if Kid was not rotating out, I would have it in this list as well. Very, very solid green card. Next, let's move into blue. So blue is going to be about drawing and defending, I feel like. So first off, we got this VV from EBO2. I feel like this card's just very underrated, and it is restricted by having to have a multicolor leader, but a 3-drop that gets to draw you 2 cards, like very, very strong. If you have 5 or less cards in hand, I mean, the restrictions are there, but I feel like you want to play this in most multicolored leaders if you can. Just getting some extra card advantage is crazy. It's really good in the blue-green Sanji deck because you can bounce it back to your hand after you play it. Very strong. Next, we got Charlotte Pudding. This is a 4-drop 4K. You should know what this does if you've been playing for a little bit now, but if you don't, this shuffles your opponent's whole hand into the deck and makes them draw 5 new cards. Kind of crazy. Glad it's not really searchable unless you play like the search events, but it's Oh man, this card's crazy. There's a lot of people that think this card needs to go. Next we got, okay, I don't know why that's in there, but next we got Marco, 4-drop 6K blocker, on KO, draw 2 cards. It's out of PRB2. Very, very strong card. If you're wanting to play blue decks in the future, you need a playset of this card. I would say you need a playset of this card before you need a playset of EVs. 100%. You need this card before, honestly, any of the other blue cards in here. Like, this card is going to go in every blue deck for a long time. Very, very strong. I would recommend picking them up now. Next, we got the 5/6 Nami from OP11. On play, gets to another multicolor leader restriction, but if your leader is multicolored, you draw 3 and place 2 on the top or your bottom of your deck in any order. Very strong card, very good for multicolored leaders. Just solid blocker there. And then next we have Sanji, 9 cost, 9k power. On play, reveals the top card of your deck, and you can put it into play if it's a 9 cost or less character that is not Sanji. Very strong double summon off the top of your deck, and blue has a lot of cards that stack the deck, so you know what's going to be there. It's not a mystery. It's a great card to have. And then finally, we have the OP05 10-drop Kaido, just a 10-12 body that on play, if your opponent has 3 or less life, draw 4. Kind of crazy. Not a lot of decks play this right now or lately, but man, I can see the potential. I can really see the potential down the line. Like, this card's just crazy, especially if there becomes a way to play multiple, which would be crazy, but like just spamming this card is crazy. Let's go ahead and jump into purple cards though, because they're a little all over the place. I would say a lot of ramp, but they're really not. They're kind of all over the place. So first off, we have Bond Clay, Mr. 2, 4-drop, 1k, 1000 power. On play adds a Dawn active, which is really, really important and really, really strong. Hence why this card was like $60+ for its entire lifetime until its reprint, and now it's still over $20, even though it just got reprinted in PRB2. Crazy card. But also, when you attack, you get to choose an opponent's character, and this character's attack power becomes that character's base attack power. Very strong. Next, we have Eustace Captain Kidd. I threw this in here because I just needed something a little more generic blocker-wise to put in here. I feel like this is a good card that was played for a really long time. Might not be played as much anymore. So if you have a better replacement or a better card you think that would slot in here instead of Kidd, let me know down below. But 5/6 blocker, 1000 counter, and on your turn, when a Dawn is returned to your Dawn deck, you get to put one back as active. So very strong for leaders and characters that like to shuffle back Dawn. Next, we got Charlotte Katakuri. This one's a menace. It's an 8-drop, 8k blocker, and at the end of your turn, you get to set 2 Big Mom Pirate-type characters with a cost of 3 or more as active, and add a Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested. Very, very strong character, especially when you pair it with Charlotte Linlin. As we've seen in the UP Snake build, that card, you cannot play these cards together with that leader anymore, which is just crazy to me. But when you pair it with this card, it's crazy because then you get to restand this and this at the same time. And if you don't know what Linlin does, it's a 9-drop, 9k that Dawn -1, trash a card from your hand, and you get to add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life, and then you get to put an opponent's character with the cost of 6 or less to the top or bottom of their life face up. So you get to heal a card and also remove a body from your opponent's field. Like, yes, you're healing them, but it's not really. It's very strong. Very, very strong. And then next we got some Luffy cards. So we got 9-drop 10k Rush Luffy that on play you can return 1 or more Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck, draw a card, and then it gains Rush. Very strong. And then also we have the Gear 5 10-drop 12k Luffy that is on play Dawn -10. Place all your characters other than this at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then after this turn, take another turn. And then once per turn, activate main. You can pay 1 Dawn to add 1 Dawn as active. Very strong character. Just hasn't really found its home. We have a couple decks that can facilitate this, but nothing that is bananas yet. I feel like this card is just waiting for the right leader to really go crazy. But a turn skip is crazy. This just getting to take another turn for all your Dawn, if you can just get it all back, crazy. Let's go to black cards now, and we're going to have some popping and removal abilities mainly. So first off is the 3/4 Brook from EBO1. Just got a reprint out of PRB2, actually. If you don't have these, I'd recommend picking them up now while they're super cheap. This card's very strong. On play and when attacking, give an opponent's character -1 cost for the turn, then KO an opponent's cost 0 character. Very strong card, especially when you pair it with a card like Rebecca, a 4-cost blocker that on play returns a black character other than Rebecca with a cost of 3 to 7 from the trash to your hand. Then you play a cost 3 or less black character from your hand rested. So very, very strong card. most black decks play Rebecca, and if they don't, it's because they have their own cards that are maybe a little bit better, but Rebecca is a very, very strong card. And then another one that was paired with it for the longest is Rob Lucci. 4-drop 6k that on play shuffles 3 from your trash back to the bottom of your deck, and then you get to KO a 2 or less and a 1 or less. Very strong. But not strong if you're playing against a deck that plays Sabo. 5-drop 6k, 1000 power, 1000 counter blocker. On play, your characters can't be KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn. Then you draw 2 and trash 2, and you might be saying, but wait, it's a 1. It's going to get rotated out. Nope. Sabo is a manga rare, and mangas do not rotate out, so I was confident putting this one in here because I know that this one will not be going anywhere. Next, we got a new one from OP13, and that's St. Marcus Mars. 6-drop 5k with the 1000 counter. If you have 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's effects and gains blocker. Absolutely insane. And that's not a hard threshold to reach in any black deck. And then on play, you can trash a card from your hand and KO an opponent's character with a base cost of 5 or less. So not only can it not be removed from the field, not only is it a blocker with a 1000 counter, it also KOs a 5 cost. Absolutely bonkers. This card's nuts. Super, super strong card. And then next we have Jack. This is also a very strong card, a very slept on card. I think this card will see the light of day again just because of how powerful it is. It's a 7 cost, 8k that gains 4 cost on the field, so it becomes an 11k. And then activate main, you can rest this card, draw 1, and trash 1 from your hand. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters that has a cost of 3 or less. When you pair this with other cards that start to minus cost, this becomes very, very powerful and very hard to keep up with. You know, if your opponent has constant cost reduction, you're kind of staring down a shotgun, man. And its name is Jack, and it's about to blow your characters apart. Very strong card. You should have this on standby. Next, we got some yellow cards, and these are going to be Healy, Life Rippy, a little bit of both. First, we got 4/6 Kiku. On KO, if your opponent's life is 3 or less, place the top card of your deck to the top of your life. Also has a trigger that if your opponent's life is 3 or less, you get to play this card. Very strong. Very funny if you play Purple Yellow Croc, you can have them slam into this with their Come Away. And just a very good card in general. Got a good trigger to play itself. Gets to heal you if they kill it. Very strong body. And then speaking of one that is very similar, it's Basil Hawkins at 4/5 with a 1000 counter. On KO, trashes a card from the top of your opponent's life. So it's kind of the opposite of Kiku. And there's no restriction. It does have a trigger, but instead of playing itself, it draws 2 and trashes 1 from your hand. Next, we have Nico Robin, a 6/6 with a 1000 counter. On play, if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, trash up to one of the top of your opponent's life cards. Crazy. Just get rid of one of their lives. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing special there. You just get to say goodbye. It also has a trigger to play up to 1 cost 3 or less yellow characters from your hand. So not too bad, but I'd probably just wouldn't trigger that. I don't know what you would play. Next, we have a 6/7 Kuma out of OP12. This card's crazy and definitely one that if you're a yellow player, you should 100% have a playset of. Even though it's kind of expensive, go grab this card. On play, trash a card from your hand, and you get to heal a card from the top of your life to the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then it gains +2 cost until the end of your opponent's next turn, so it becomes an 8k. Sorry, not an 8k, an 8 cost. So helps with removal, helps hit certain leader and character abilities. And then on your opponent's turn, when it dies, you get to add the top card of your deck to your life as well. So this is a heal 2. If used properly, this is a heal 2. Very strong card. Next, we got the 8 cost Kid with the 9000 power. On play, you can rest this character and trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards. And then at the end of your turn, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, draw 1 and trash 1 from your hand. So another Robin-like effect that gets you trash your opponent's life with a filter on it is just kind of bananas, man. It's just absolutely crazy. And then to wrap things up, we have a big rush character in the 10 cost, 10,000 power Ace. On play, you can add the 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. Then if you have 2 life cards or less, this character gains rush for the turn. Very, very strong. Yellow has all these heal abilities, and what better way to top it off than to put it on a 10,000 power rush body. Just so crazy. This is my take on a bunch of characters that I think you should have that are staples that can go into any deck of any color. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you think I missed anything, but Let's go ahead and jump into the last segment, and that is going to be event cards. Alrighty, y'all. So events, we have a little bit more of a specific breakdown here, and I'm going to go ahead and explain. Also, there are a few more cards that will be rotated out. So I'd love your help if you have any input on event cards down in the comments below, or you can jump into my Discord that I have a link for down in the comments below. Join there and let us know what you think of the events and which event cards you would include in your staple list, because I'd love to know your opinions and thoughts as well. So I have picked 5 events for each color, and each of them contains a 0 cost event, which we will go over in just a minute, a 4,000 plus power event, counter event, and then a searcher event. And then the other 2 are kind of pertain to what that color likes to do. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So to start things off, like I said, each has a 0 cost event, and that is going to be a 0 cost event that has a counter that you can trash a card from your hand to give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 3,000 power this battle. This is Bad Manners Kick Course, searchable in Straw Hat, very strong. Trigger gives an opponent's leader or character minus 3k power this turn. Just a great event card to have. And then next, like I said, we have a 4k counter, and that's going to be Radical Beam. 1 cost, counter, your leader or character gains 2,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, it gains another 2,000 power during this battle. Also has a trigger, your leader or character gains 1,000 power for the turn. Very good card. This will rotate out, I'm pretty sure, but just needed to include it. If you have a suggestion for a replacement, let me know, and let me know on the rest of these as well, because I'm not going to say that for each one of these that is going to get rotated out. Next, we got Divine Departure. This is going to be a 1 cost main and counter card. Main, you can rest 5 Dawn, KO an opponent's character with a cost of 8,000 power or less, or counter up to one of your leaders gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. So a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense, whatever you kind of need for it. It's very, very strong. And then next we have the 2 cost searcher event. So like I said, I have these for each of them. I'm not going to talk over them very, very extensively like I do the rest of the cards. All of these are 2 cost and then have the effect main. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 1 card with the cost of 4 or more and add it to hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. They all also have a trigger to activate the card's main effect. They're all also music typing, so they're not searchable in any way. I don't know why you would search for your search event. I know we can search for search characters, and that's done before, but not. I wouldn't do it for an event. But they're all really cool. They're based off of songs from the show and the show's intros and outros. I really, really like that. I think it's really fun, but that's what all of these do. Like I said, I'm not going to talk over them extensively anymore. Let's go ahead and jump into the next card. That's going to be Mole Gun. I thought that this was a great, versatile red card. We used to play Jet Pistol, but now we play Mole Gun because it's just as strong. It's a 4 cost event. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 5,000 power during this turn. Then if you have a character with 6,000 power or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of a power of 2,000 or less. And then it has a trigger to activate the main effect. It's also a Straw Hat Crew type card, so it is searchable in the Straw Hat decks. Very good. Let's go ahead and jump to green. Here's a 0 cost event, like I said, plus 3k power, but trigger, rest an opponent's character with a cost of 4 or less. Very, very good. It's Don Quixote Pirates, so it's searchable for the green, purple Dofi leader. If you want to play it in there, that's really cool. And then next we have Billion Fold World Tricholiocosm. I hope I said that correctly. 1 cost. Up to one of your leader or characters gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Then if you have 8 or more rested cards, that card gains an additional 2,000 power. And when it says rested cards, that does count Dawn. So this is kind of easier to reach than you would think. This card just hasn't ever really seen a whole lot of play, surprisingly, but green just doesn't need it. I guess they don't need it. It is Straw Hat Crew and Dressrosa typing, so it can be searchable in Straw Hat decks. Next, we got the Straw Hat Crew type, another one. I don't know why they keep doing this. 1 cost, Dead Man's Game. I guess I'll read the whole name for you just to, because I know you want to hear me say it. Demonic Aura 9-sword style Asura Dead Man's Game. A lot of people abbreviate it DMG. Very strong card that just came out of OP12. I highly recommend you have this if you're playing green decks. Main, you may rest a total of 3 of your Dawn cards. Main, you may rest 3 of your Dawn cards, rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. Or it has a counter to give your leader 3,000 power for the battle. Very strong card. It's kind of like Hody Jones without the body. Very, very powerful. This card is very hard to play around sometimes, and it's a menace right now in the green Zoro deck. Next, we got the Searcher event for green, and then we're going to wrap it up with another versatile event, and that's going to be Electrical Luna. This is a 3-cost event that all of your opponent's rested characters with the cost of 7 or less do not become active during your opponent's next refresh phase. And then as a trigger to rest up to one of your opponent's characters, any character, which is a very strong trigger. Let's jump into blue, and to kick things off, we got the 0-cost event, and the trigger on this one is to return up to one character with the cost of 2 or less to the owner's hand. It is Straw Hat Pirate typing, so you can search it in your Straw Hat deck. Man, we got a lot of good Straw Hat cards. Next, we have the 2-cost blue Searcher event. Next, we got the 2-cost Love Beam. This is a counter. Your leader or up to one of your characters gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then draw one card if you have 3 or less cards in your hand. If you have a replacement for this, let me know. This one is a little old and will get rotated out, I'm pretty sure. And I'm thinking we could probably find a better one to put here. Next, we got Sanji's Peel-Off. This is just a great 3-cost event that gets to draw 2 cards and has a trigger to activate this card's main effect. Again, another one that I believe is rotating out, so could be replaced by another versatile event. And then sadly, another one that is going to rotate out is Gum Gum Red Rock, but I hope this one doesn't rotate out because this card's really powerful. 6-cost main, place up to one character at the bottom of its owner's deck, and then has a trigger to place a character with the cost of 4 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. Very strong card. Very, very good, very versatile. I hope it doesn't rotate out because blue really needs it. Blue really, really needs that card. Next, let's move into purple. So we have the 0-cost purple event, Gum Gum Jet Gatling. Again, a Straw Hat Crew type card. This one has the trigger to add a Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Very good for ramping if you triggered out of life. Next, we have Blast Breath, and this is another one out of the starter deck that I think could be replaced by something else, but 4,000 counter, Dawn -1, your leader or one of your characters gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Very strong, has been for a while, but could definitely be replaced by something else, and hopefully we'll get some revamped 4,000 counter events, but I feel like the new pattern is to go towards these main and counter events, and give the plus 3,000 power. We can see it here. We can see it here. I think we have another one down here. Very strong cards, and that seems to be the way that they're going. Next, we have the Searcher event for purple. And then next, we have It's to Die For. 3-cost main event, add up to one Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Then, if your opponent has a character with 6,000 power or more in play, add up to one Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So this is potentially a ramp 2. Like, it's just kind of crazy. Also has a trigger to ramp a Dawn active. So very, very strong card for ramping and for purple in general if you need an event card to do so. Next, we have another one that does the same. It's God Thread, 5-cost event that KOs an opponent's character with the cost of 5 or below, and then ramps an active Dawn. Very strong card. Let's move into the black cards, and the first one is going to be the 0-cost event, 6-King Pistol. For once, not a Straw Hat Crew type one, but this one gets to draw a card on trigger and then KO an opponent's character with the cost of 1 or less. So, weird trigger, I guess, but the draw is nice. Next, we have Tempest Kick. This is a 1-cost main event that draws a card. Then after this, if your trash has 10 or more cards, give an opponent's character -3 cost for the turn. Very strong. Also has a trigger to KO an opponent's 3-cost or lower character. Next, we have the 2-cost Search event for black. And then we have Black Spiral, or I believe its actual name in the English translation is Black Vortex. 2-cost counter, nullify the effects of up to one of your opponent's leader or character and give them -4,000 power during this turn. Then has a trigger to nullify the effects of up to one of your opponent's leader or character during this turn. So instead of a plus 4,000 counter for black, I gave it a minus 4,000 power because this card's really, really strong. And I think we can see this being played for a while against certain decks and leaders. And then finally, we have Shigan, Finger Gun, Finger Pistol. 4-cost main, trash the top 2 cards of your deck, KO an opponent's character with cost of 5 or less. Very, very strong. Also has a trigger to activate the main ability. So very, very powerful card there. One I think you should also have on standby. Finally, let's get into the yellow cards. And off the rip, we have the 0-cost event, just like the rest of the time. This is You're the One Who Should Disappear. And has a trigger that if you have 0 or less life cards, put the top card of your deck onto your life pile, then trash 1 card from your hand. Very crazy. Very, very triggering, hence the word trigger. And yeah, I've seen this card triggered out of the last card in life too many times to count. Very strong card. Next, we have Elthor, 1 cost, counter, give up to one of your leader characters plus 2,000 power for this battle. Then if your opponent has two or less life, give that an additional 2,000 power. Like I said, just another 4K, but this has a trigger to KO an opponent's character cost with equal or less to their life total. So, not bad trigger. And then we have Red Hawk. Like I said, this is kind of where I think they're starting to go, these main and counter events. This is a 1 cost main. You may rest 3 Dawn cards. If both players' total amount of life cards is 5 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less, and then as a counter for plus 3,000. And again, another Straw Hat Crew type card. Like, there's just so many, and they're so strong. It's kind of funny. Next, we have the search event for yellow, and then I'm going to follow it up with another search event. I couldn't think of another good yellow event. Let me know if you have one down in the comments below, but I decided to put Darishi in here because yellow plays a lot of triggers, usually has a lot of triggers, and this is a 3-cost main event that looks at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveals up to 2 cards with triggers other than Darishi, and adds both of them to your hand. So, very, very good, and then has a trigger to draw a card. Not a bad card at all, but I couldn't think of another one that was better than this. So that's going to be all of my staples that I think you should have on standby. Like I said, I tried to keep these compact. I tried to keep these versatile, but also at the same time similar in the same veins for the events, and then respective to what their colors do for the 2Ks. So the only thing that I didn't mention for the 2Ks, and I feel like I should mention, is that there are vanilla 2Ks for every single color, and those are also worth having on standby. They have them in decent sized stat bodies, like a 5/7. So also worth having on standby. But let me know what you think about these lists in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit the like button if you like this content. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that ding ding dong. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.